Hello everyone, it's Dr. Conor with Tree of Life Chiropractic, and I'm thrilled and honored to be able to introduce to you this Perfect Storm series. Whether you're a parent that is struggling to make sure that their kids aren't having outbursts when they go out to lunch, or making sure that their kids don't withdraw completely from the day in general, this series is going to be perfect for you. Whether you're looking for help with sensory processing issues or kids that are struggling to sit still and do their homework, this again is going to be a perfect series for you. And it has everything to do with the fact that as kids are developing, if their nervous system isn't functioning at 100% or optimally, you're going to actually end up having some of these issues. What I wanted to do today is introduce you to what the perfect storm is. Overall, it has a lot to do with the three stresses in life, whether it's physical, emotional, or chemical. And through the series, I am going to dive a little bit deeper into that. But I want to show you the cascade of how the perfect storm sets itself up, and then what we can do about it. So, in order to give you that information, I wrote out a list here. So as we're looking at a perfect storm kiddo, or even a perfect storm adult, we like to dive a lot deeper into the history to understand if there are specific things that are adding up to create a stressful environment for their nervous system. So normally, as we're taking history for these kids, we do have some type of stress through number 1 or number 2. So fertility, or pregnancy stresses, and then also intervention during labor or delivery. So those two are very big on being able to set up the environment to create issues down the road, because it actually creates stress on the nervous system. So if you just think about the birthing process itself, there's a lot of stress that actually can be added to the neck there as the birth process goes through. And then also if you start to get into interventions like C-sections and everything leading up to that, whether it's induction or epidural, those are all going to create environments where it's a little bit more stressful for the kids as they are growing up, because they were put into an environment where it was stressed out to begin with. Even though it could have been completely life-saving and everything like that, you still, when that shows up in the history, it normally means that you start to see more of this cascade. So you start to transition more into the colicky baby when they are stressed out in the very beginning, which then starts to actually push more towards a sick toddler, which then ultimately starts to create sensory and spectrum issues with the kids. So that is the very beginning of the perfect storm, whether it's the stress from the pregnancy or even trips and falls, traumas when they are first born, or when they become toddlers. All of this starts to create stress and irritation on the nervous system through the upper neck, through the brain, which then is making it so that they're not able to communicate properly, which then ultimately puts them in an environment where they're not able to process information properly. So as you actually move through this cascade of the perfect storm, it does actually move even further into teenagers, where they're more anxious, more depressed, have trouble focusing in school, and then you start to actually get towards more of a burnout, stressed out, ADHD, anxiety, adult in general. So this message not only focuses on the kids, but it also focuses on adults. And this has everything, again, to do with how your nervous system is functioning. So a pretty good question to end this video on is, we get everything else checked. We get our eyes checked, our ears checked, our just skin, all of that, but we don't necessarily get our nervous system checked. So why is that? Ultimately, being able to make sure that your brain is communicating properly with your body, it's going to allow your system to be able to process what it needs to, allow your kids to actually dive deeper into all of the things that they're doing, whether it's occupational therapy, swimming, staying active, whether they're doing counseling or you're doing diet changes. If the nervous system isn't functioning completely the way it needs to, you're going to start to see some of these changes. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more as we go through the series. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll join in on the next video, which I'm going to dive deeper into those 3 T's so that we can understand them a little bit more. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.